Hello and welcome to the Jamf 100 course, Lesson 7, Apps. In this lesson, we're going to cover how we actually get apps on our iOS device, as well as some of the locations that we can get them from. So in order to get an app on our iOS device, we need to have an Apple ID. Now an Apple ID does consist of an email address and a password, but that really makes up our Apple ID account. The account allows us to get into Apple services there. We also need an Apple ID to have access to iCloud, so if we want to back up our iOS devices, as well as some other features like the App Store, iBook Store, or later on we can talk about Apple School Manager, the Device Enrollment Program, and the Volume Purchase Program. Here in this lesson, we're going to walk through and set up our iPad to download applications. Let's go ahead and download and install an app on our iOS device. First, we are going to go ahead and sign in with an Apple ID. So I'm going to go into the Settings app, scroll down to iTunes and App Store, and sign in with my Apple ID here. Once I'm signed in, I'm going to go ahead and open up the App Store now. So I'll go back to my home screen, tap on App Store, and you'll see we have our App Store layout here. We have the Today view, Games, Apps, and Updates and Search below. I'm going to go ahead and download the app Weather Atlas. So I'm going to go ahead and tap Get. And again, if it's a free application, it will say Get. If it's a paid application, it'll put the dollar amount there. And you'll see I'm prompted here. I get the app that I'm going to download, the rating that this application has, as well as the Apple ID, the account that I'm using here to get this application. To get the application on my iOS device, I need to go ahead and enter my Apple ID password here. And then I get a prompt saying, do you require a password for additional purchases, and would you like to acquire it always or after 15 minutes? I'll just go ahead and tap Always. So now that it's downloading, I can go ahead and check the status of that here in the App Store, or if I go to my homepage. Now once it's done installing, I can go ahead and launch the application. And you'll see here that Weather Atlas is actually asking for access to my location. If I want to use the location features of this application, I go ahead and tap Access My Location, and then iOS prompts me to actually allow me to use the location of my device for this application. Like we had talked about in a previous lesson, we can drag and move applications around. But if you do delete this application, the user data, it will go with it. So if we had set up any custom cities that we wanted to go ahead and monitor for weather, when we delete this application, the data goes with it. Those settings go with it. You can also get in-house applications on your iOS device deployed through Jamf Pro.